a grouped frequency table. These are the heights of certain students, and you can see H for the height, and this is 120 to 130 centimetres. There are 6 people. Now the problem with having group data is that we don't know exactly how tall these 6 people were. Were all 6 close to 130? Were all 6 close to 120? Were they spread around between 120 and 130? We just don't know. So we just tend to give them all the same answer, the same height, call it the midpoint, and it's the halfway between these two. Now you could just add them together and divide by 2, or you can see if you can find the halfway quite easily, you can just go ahead and write it in 125, 135, 145, 155, 165, and that's it. Now once we've got the midpoint, now remember this midpoint is 125 centimeters tall, because this is height in centimeters, and this is m, the midpoint, in centimeters. So these are all the heights. So this is the variable that we're measuring. This is the thing, the value that varies, changes amongst the different people, and this is the frequency. So now we're going to work out all of the interesting values, but first of all we'll do the mode, the most popular height. Well look, there are lots of people, 8 of them, between 160 and 170. Now when we talk about the modal height, we say the modal class. Each of these groups is called a class, C-L-A-S-S, and a class is just a group of things. That's a word that transfers over to science and biology. So the class, the modal class, is 160 to 170 centimetres. And again, because we don't know exactly how tall the individuals are, we just usually say the modal class is 160 to 170 centimetres. That's the most popular group with the most people. Now over to here, we'll go into fresh space. So always start in just fresh space away from the data, and then we go to menu, statistics. You can actually just type in the numbers, 1 statistical calculations, and 1 variable statistic, right? Because we're measuring height. So 1 variable statistic. There is only 1 list here. It's the list of the first class. And the X list is the variable. Now it's not H, right? It's M, the midpoint. We need a single number for the variables. The frequency list is F, and we're done. And now we just go ahead and write down the numbers that we need. Now this guy, X bar, this is actually the mean. Oh, this is I'll just put the mean. So my TI Inspire recognizes mean as a built-in command, okay? So I won't press enter. So there's the mean, X bar. The sigma X is 4380. This is what you would get if you added up all the numbers, all right? So there are 6 people with a height of 125. So if we did 6 times 125, and we can do this here, I can do the formula in here, equals the frequency multiplied by the mean. These are all variable references. And look, 6 times 125 is 750. So you might do this on the paper, and you would get all these answers. And then if you added all these answers, 1320 plus 775 plus 725 plus 8110 plus 750, you would indeed get 4,380. And if you did 4,380 divided by 30, you would get the mean, which is 146. So there's the mean right there. And if we scroll down, we have the lower quartile, the median, the upper quartile, and of course it tells us the maximum is 165. But if we're thinking quite smart about this, the upper quartile and the lower quartile and the max, well look, the biggest value could be 170, right? And the smallest value could be 120. Right, so we say the minimum is 120 because we could have someone that small, and we'll say the maximum is actually 170. We could have somebody at 170. Now the reason why the calculator has given us 165 as the biggest height is because that's what we told the calculator to do. We said, look, we had 8 people with a height of 165. So imagine writing out 165 8 times at the top of your list of students. And imagine at the bottom of the list of students, you wrote out 6 people with a height of 125. So the calculators have worked out the mean using these numbers, but also the median and the quartiles. So it's just an estimate, right? Using the calculator, it's just an estimate, but it gives us some quick answers. So to summarise, the mean is 146. The min is 125, but we would probably say that actually the min height is 120. The max height we'll have as 170. And then the median and quartiles we'll just read from our calculator. The lower quartile is 135, the median is 145, and the upper quartile is 165. Just how accurate those are, it's debatable, but there is another way of trying to work out the medians and quartiles a little bit more accurately, and we'll do that soon.